My name is Regina Fernandes. I am 63 years old. I am a civil engineer. The last place I ever thought I would go into was the Universal Church. My life was peaceful, with the same challenges as everyone else. I was well off, traveling every year, sometimes going twice to the United States. We would always spend our holidays every year in the United States, in Disney, and so on. Our children were young. There was a point where my husband, who was working in a multinational company, started working for himself. We were able to maintain our way of life. Though with some difficulty, we were still able to maintain things. However, all of a sudden, he had to take a loan to pay off another loan. In the blink of an eye, our world just fell apart. For someone who had 3 cars, I used to have an imported car. We suddenly had no car at all. We didn't even have money for the bus. We would pray or look for groups in other churches, but things were not going well, and our familial situation kept getting worse, including between us. I had never thought of going to the Universal Church. I was subscribed to a magazine that got delivered on Saturdays. At the time, they would deliver this to our house on Saturdays, and that was how I would be informed as to what was happening. I also saw bad things being said about the church, the usual things that they robbed, they stole, and exploited people. I would even think, my goodness, how can this church be allowed to continue functioning if they are so evil, if they are thieves and they brainwash people? I have never thought of going to the Universal Church. However, when my husband said that he was going, because the condition that we were in, my husband couldn't even sleep. When he did sleep, it was with medication. He would stay awake. He was in a desperate state, about to take his own life. So he couldn't sleep and would stay awake watching television, and that was how he found the Universal Church. One day he told me, "I'm going to the Universal Church." I looked at him and said, "What? Where? Are you insane? People say that they are thieves and robbers. How can you go there? We have no money. We have nothing left. How are you going to pay for their work? They are going to charge you. This is what people say about them." He told me, "No, I'm going." And very maliciously I told him, "Well, we don't have any money, but take off your wedding ring, because when they charge you at the exit, since you are going without any money to pay them, you will have to give them your wedding ring." I was very malicious, but anyway, that's what I said. But he looked at me, ignored me, and went. 2 weeks after he started going, I also went. He started going regularly, and he told me, "It's nothing like what they say it is. It is good there. It is very good. You have to go with me. It is very good." At the time, in addition to what we were going through, I found out that our son was smoking weed. He went into such depression that he wouldn't leave his room. My world didn't end when we went broke, when we lost everything, our cars, and were potentially losing our flat. I was shaken, but my world hadn't ended there. My world ended when my son got mixed up with things he shouldn't have and was now going through that situation. The ground opened up beneath me and I was buried alive. One weekend I was so distressed and I decided to iron some clothes. I took the ironing board, placed it in front of the television, and told my husband, "Switch to the channel of your church. I want to see it." There was a pastor who was saying, "Addiction has a cure. If you have a family member who has a problem, or if you smoke, come, because I will be here in Solomon's Temple at 3 p.m. It was almost 3 p.m. I switched the iron off immediately and told my husband, "Look, I'm all set. I have switched off the iron and I will go there as I am. Are you coming with me? Because I'm going." I was very well received. It was amazing. I felt embraced. I felt rescued. Just like when you go to the emergency room because you hit your head and you need stitches. Do you understand? I was immediately tended to. I started going to all the meetings in the church. All of them, all of them. No one ever charged me for anything. In such an unexpected and unusual way, I even received physical help. because my heart suddenly started beating fast in the middle of a meeting and I felt unwell. I had to step outside and an assistant or pastor asked me what was happening as I was leaving and I said, "My heart is racing. I need some water." He told me, "Come with me," and I followed him. Within the car park, there is a complete and wonderful outpatient clinic. I had an ECG done and all for free. I was treated so well and I didn't pay a penny for this. If there hadn't been anyone giving tithes and offerings before me, my husband wouldn't have watched a television program that rescued his life, my life, and those of my children. This is where I found the Holy Spirit. This is where I found help. It is impressive. We look back and say, how did we get here? Our son is now a graduate. Our daughter is working. We bought a house together. We look back and say, wow, this is victory with God as a family. Today we live in England, in a small town called Stafford. For someone who had never thought about going to the Universal Church, and I wouldn't even let it cross my mind, today I am part of this work. Whether I'm alone or far away, I am part of this work. I love it very much. I love watching Univer. I love it when I can go to the church in Birmingham. I cry for joy at being able to be in church, at being able to seek the Holy Spirit, and to close my eyes and hear people worshipping God. For me, this is magnificent. Magnificent. If I could tell those who are going through what I went through, or are facing serious health problems, or who have a child going down a path that they think is not right, I say, give yourself a chance. Whether in Solomon's temple or in a local universal church, go. Give yourself a chance, and I am sure, I guarantee you, that you will leave better than you came in.